Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Tom McLean, and I lead a life of danger.
Number 2.
My name is Tom McLean, and I live a life of danger.
Number 3.
My name is Tom McLean, and I lead a life of danger.
Only one of these people is the real Tom McLean and has sworn to tell the truth. Today's panelists are Rodney Bewes, Gilly Johnson, Danny Baker, and Polly James. And here's your host, Fred Diney.
Welcome to Tell the Truth. Welcome also to our panel of megastars who are understandably just a wee bit confused about those three gentlemen, all of whom claim to live a life of danger. You'd like to know a bit more than that, wouldn't you? Of course you would, and I am here, I am born to serve. Open those envelopes in front of you. Inside them you'll find a signed statement, which I'm now going to read to you. It might just help. It says, I, Tom McLean, have had a taste for adventure all my life and joined the Paras when I was 17. I was the first person to row the Atlantic solo from Canada to Ireland. Then I left the army and set up an adventure centre in Scotland. In maritime year, I sailed the Atlantic single-handed in a small boat, establishing a record time. In 1985, I survived for 40 days alone on Rockall. And 2 years ago, I recaptured the record for rowing the Atlantic single-handed. Signed, Tom McLean. The problem for the panel, of course, is who is the real Tom McLean? Is he 1, 2 or 3? Panel, you have to tell me. They do it by means of question and answer. There are, of course, 2 imposters there who will try and confuse them, but the real man, the real Tom McLean, will not knowingly tell a lie. You've got until the hooter sounds. No demonstrations are allowed. Let's start with the man who knows a bit about boats and rowing. Rodney Bewes, your questions start now.
Oh, lovely. Number 1. When you rode the Atlantic, did it make your hands sore?
Yeah, it gets sore after a while.
Did you use anything for stopping them being sore?
No, not a lot.
How long did it take?
Took 52 days.
Oh, number 2. When you rode the Atlantic, did you do anything on your hands?
I wore gloves.
Yeah. All the time?
No, not all the time.
Did you find that was sort of trouble with the seawater?
No, not at all.
Number 3. Did you wear gloves when you rode the Atlantic?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah. Did you get blisters?
Yes, I did.
And you did it twice, number 3. You rode the Atlantic twice?
Yes.
Where did you set off from?
I set off from St John's, Newfoundland.
Your time's up, Rodney, but your time, Gilly Johnson, is just beginning.
Number 1, have you always had this sense of adventure?
Yeah, I think so.
Were you brought up by the sea?
No.
Number 2, what made you join the Paras?
Just for a life of an adventure.
So you're an adventurer?
Absolutely.
Number 3, why did you join the Paras?
A lot of my school friends were going, so I went.
That's the only reason.
Well, and then the adventure.
I think, don't you, audience, our panel is struggling a bit here.
Struggling?
As they search for Tom
I
McLean adventurer.
have to admit to
But
struggling.
here's a man.
But the list of things they've done is so overwhelming.
No, it's not. I'll have a go.
Oh, right.
Here's a man who
I'll
can
sort
sort
these
them
mugs
out.
out in 2 seconds. Let's have a go.
Danny Baker.
Number 1. What school did you go to? What was the name of it?
Stony Stratford.
In Stratford. Don't
Yeah.
want to be around Stratford. Number 2. What school did you go to?
Stratford.
You went to Stratford.
Yeah.
What about you?
Same school, Stratford.
Oh, did you? Oh, let's cold box that idea, then, isn't it? All right, then. Number 1. What was the timing of the record? The last record you got going across the Atlantic single-handed?
54 days.
Oh, nearly didn't remember that, did you, number 1? Number 2. What was the
4
record
days.
for you going across the Atlantic single-handed?
54 days.
You're remembering your notes, the period. Number 3.
52 days.
52 days.
Sailing. Rowing 54.
Oh, that's convincing, isn't it? All right, then. Do people ever go at you in public? I mean, do they think you're big butch action men? Number 1.
Yeah, a bit.
Do they?
Yeah.
Are you?
I don't know.
Number 2. Do people ever come up and have a go at you because they think you're big and butch?
Sometimes.
I see, yeah. And number 3. Do people do, and you don't look big and butch, but do they ever go at you?
They don't recognise me.
Danny Baker. Right,
sounds
your time is
easy.
up. Polly James.
The questions have gone. Number 3, define danger as you see it for me, please.
Doing something which is going to be exciting and you could lose your life.
Exciting and you could lose your life. Number 2, define.
Very similar.
Very
yes,
similar.
yes.
Number 1, any difference?
The unknown as well.
Did you always have this, number 3, did you always have this sense of needing danger as a child?
Yes.
Number 2, when you survived this 40 days in Rockall, right?
Yes.
Rockall, you say survived. Did you have any food?
Oh, yes, I took tin food with me.
You took tin food with
Yeah.
you. Now, tell me about that. What did you eat?
Mainly tin food, cooked on a can of gas stove, small can of gas
You
stove.
had all the equipment with you too.
Yes, that's right.
Number 1.
You're out of time, and I think they're in big trouble. It's make your mind up time now for our panel. They're looking for Tom McLean, adventurer. Why don't you at home have a go as well? I wonder, is he number 1, or number 2, or number 3? Panel, you've got to tell me. Rodney Bewes, who isn't telling the truth, who is telling the truth?
Well, something tells me that it's not number 1. I don't know what it is. You look as if you could row. You know, you're small and squat. Well, Danny is too, but I don't think he could row. I don't think it's number 2 either. I think it's number 3.
Number 3. Jelly Johnson.
Well, I'm trying to figure out. I think it's between number 1 and 2, actually. And I'm going to go for number 1 because he seems so unlikely to be one of the powers. I'm going to try number 1.
Number 1, Danny Baker.
Well, Rodney's been boring me all day about rowing, so I'm going to follow his instinct, but I do believe it's number 3 anyway. Number 1, when he talked about... there was a bit of that. Number 2, I don't know. You've agreed with him on 54 days. He went for 52 days, which could mean he's lying, but you've got to make the decision. Let's go for number 3.
Number 3. And Polly James.
It's terribly difficult because, of course, having done all of this does give you a kind of cool about things. I mean, if you've faced all that, and they've all got this. I'm going for 3.
Number 3.
Ha! That's going to be 2, isn't it? I know
So,
it.
3 of them have gone for 3. 1 has gone for number 1. I wonder, will the real Tom McLean, adventurer, please stand up? It's number 1. One has to say, well done, Gilly Johnson. Extremely perceptive, but 2 very good imposters, weren't they? Our first imposter, what's your name really?
Henry O'Donoghue, and I'm a builder.
And our second imposter?
Mike Grabsky, and I'm a company director.
2 very good imposters, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. And we'll see them later for the part of the programme we call One-to-One. In the meantime, the real Tom McLean. In fact, Tom, we've got a photograph of you in one of your boats. Perhaps you can tell us which particular boat and which particular adventure this is.
Yeah, that's the last crossing. That's when I recaptured the rowing record at 54 days. It was 71 days before that. I crossed from St John's to the Scilly Isles.
Are you always looking for other adventurous ways of crossing the Atlantic?
Yeah, they come to me. About one every other year I get through.
40 days on Rockall. We've got a photograph, in fact, of Rockall, which looks a particularly grim sort of... Well, it's like a rock sticking out of the sea.
Yeah, it's just a rock. I was there 40 days and I went to reaffirm my rights to that rock, yeah.
How did you pass the time? I mean... it's not
Eating, sleeping, radio, ham radio, talking to the fishermen on the VHF. There's lots to do.
And clearing your mind, presumably, as well.
Yeah, it's nice to get away for about a month.
Have you still got your adventure school in Scotland?
I've still got that
Oh,
going.
can I come?
There's
Yes, oh,
soldiers
good.
there now.
Can we all book in?
As well, yes.
And I'll tell you what, Polly, for your information, he's also written a book about his adventures called Survival at Sea. And there it is. Available from all good bookshops.
Hurry while stops last.
Very good.
Nice little plug, eh? Tom
you
McLean,
very much.
smashing. Thanks for playing the game, ladies and gentlemen. Tom McLean. So, contestants are doing well, panel aren't doing quite so well. Let's now meet 3 more people who want to play